As we look ahead to the Christmas holiday, it's looking like we're going to see a wedge build in, and wedges can be often tricky to forecast here. What we deal with is an area of high pressure up to our north that pushes cold air down the east side of the mountains here. And then we get that cooler air that gets trapped between the Appalachians and what's happening out across the Atlantic Ocean. So what you're going to end up seeing is some of this fog development. We end up with a lot of drizzle and even some areas of patchy rain as well. That gives us that kind of drizzly wedge setup. It's what we typically think of when we talk about a cold air wedge. So what happens is the northern and western mountains can often be warmer during these types of setups than what we see in the upstate. That's where we typically see some of the colder air, because just on the western mountains, you're often kind of left just outside of the cooler temperatures there. They can happen any time of the year, which is why we're talking about them now, but we talk about them in the fall as well as the summer and into the spring, and keeps those temperatures, again, most of the time it's below normal. A lot of it has to do with how strong the wedge signal is and how cool those temperatures end up being. They can be difficult to predict, which is why they often are called forecast busters. So it's often why times you'll hear us say, well, there's a wedge going to build in, but those temperatures could fluctuate. If you get a stronger wedge, then you get the colder air signal, and then that gives you cooler temperatures, sometimes colder than the forecast. But sometimes if that wedge ends up being a little bit weaker in terms of the signal there, that could give you some warmer temperatures than initially anticipated. It's why there's a lot of uncertainty when we talk about forecasting for wedge patterns, which we could see as we head into this upcoming Christmas. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Chrissy Kohler.